mess we're about to get into right now.
Hello and welcome to a brand new preview episode for Black on Black Cinema. I'm your host, Jay. I'm here with my co-host, Micah.
Hey.
All right, guys, we're back. This is preview episode 224, Emergency. This is available on Amazon Prime. This is starring R.J. Seiler, Donald Elise Watkins, and Sebastian Chacon. Emergency's logline is ready for a night of legendary partying. 3 college students must weigh the pros and cons of calling the police when faced with an unexpected situation. Yeah, this looks interesting. It's about basically 2 black kids and a Latin kid finding a white woman unconscious in their apartment, which they had nothing to do with, and then they're trying to they don't want to call the police because they're 2 black kids and a Latin kid, and she's white, so they're and they're college students, so they're trying to get around dropping her off or wherever she needs to be without getting caught by other white people who would clearly suspect them of some foul shit. It looks interesting. I have not watched it. You have seen it, yes?
No, I haven't.
Oh, you haven't watched it yet. Okay. So again, you can watch this on Amazon Prime. So check that out, and we will dig into that in its entirety next week. Tiara will be back for that show as well, by the way. Okay. So the random topic this week is just about the disparity between police responses, because I think that's an interesting topic. We obviously are a little tired of talking about mass shootings, considering that we had to talk about the one in Buffalo not too long ago, and then the mass shooting in Texas, which involved 19 children in elementary school age.
Buffalo, California, Texas, and Tulsa, Oklahoma, just recently.
Right. I saw that another 4 people killed.
Within a month.
Right. And I believe the one in Tulsa, maybe it was actually more than 4 people, or maybe it's just 4 people, but was that the one at the funeral? Because there's another one that happened.
I thought it was at a hospital or something like that, where a doctor was kind of being targeted, and then 3 other people were collateral damage. I think. I don't know. Okay. There are way too many. I can't keep up. There are way too many.
Yeah, I think you're right. The one I'm thinking of is in this happened new today in Racine, Wisconsin. 5 people were shot at a funeral while they were burying a family member who was shot. Which is quite literally the plot out of a Kick-Ass movie. That quite literally happened in that, right? It's insane. So, we're not going to go into the details of the actual shootings because that is already horrifying in its own right. We're talking about, gun violence, which is its own thing. Shout out to the guy who made the comment that not owning a gun doesn't make me a real man, and that's why blah blah blah. I'm not I'm not strong enough, and guns aren't the problem. Good guys with a gun are the only way to solve it. That was right before 19 kids got killed, quite literally 5 days later. But sure. So shout out to you, buddy. But we want to talk about the disparity, right? Which is the difference between how the cops handled the Uvalde shooting, where they literally stayed outside and in the hallways while this person gunned down 19 elementary school age children and 2 teachers, versus them practically storming the house of someone if they find out there's weed there in a black community, right? I don't want to make this sound like this is an oppression Olympics sort of situation of we suffer more shootings or whatever. That's not even my point. Statistics aside, that's not my point for bringing this up. It's just the difference in the cop response when it comes to criminality of certain degrees, right? And it seems overboard in the black community for things that are far less serious versus things like the Ivaldi shooting, and so on and so forth. Go ahead.
This is a very simple thing. Cops don't want to get shot either.
That's what the cop. That's the cop said in Texas. Like the lieutenant, he was like,
They don't
"We could have gotten shot."
Right. They don't want to get shot either. That's why people who hunt don't hunt things that can hunt them back. Right. Like, that's why police response for, weed or whatever, there's a good chance that if you're breaching some apartment building, that people aren't going to be aware and you have the upper hand and you have the advantage. But if you are on a more level playing field, things change, right? Like there's a psycho in there holding children hostage with a gun that can fire off multiple rounds per minute. Suddenly, and look, I understand, right? I'm not saying that the police should rush in headlong without a plan to take this dude out. But at the same time, like, you got to come up with that plan real fast, guys.
What the fuck are we paying you for?
You got to come up with that plan real fast. And look, here's the issue. The issue is that I think we need a better class of cop. And because look, I don't have like a beef with all police officers, right? Like that's just, I don't make sweeping judgments like that, right? But we need a better class of cop. I enjoy like a bunch of like military shit. Like I'm a little jingoistic. I'm a little jingoistic, right?
I'm a little
like
hilarious.
Like I would have joined the military. Right? Because I do like some of that stuff, right? The problem is I'm not built that way. And I think a lot of people get into some sort of law enforcement or military or something like that, and they're not built that way. Now with the military, there's a higher percentage that they will beat that bitch right out of you.
I mean, that's their job, bro.
That's their job.
Yeah, that's their job. That's their job.
Like they beat the punk bitch out of you so that you can think faster, move quicker,
take that
aware
hill
of things. Right. Law enforcement doesn't really beat that punk bitch out of you as much or as quickly, if at all, right? Like some people get into it purely for the power aspect, and I get it. It's a rush, man.
I think that percentage of police officers, and look, allow me to definitely piss people off. I think a lot of people, because I don't care, a lot of people who get into law enforcement are small, and I don't mean physically small.
They get into it for the wrong reasons.
Right.
They get into it for the wrong reasons. When we were growing up, at least how it was presented to us, right? Like, I don't know how it probably was like it is now, 40 years ago.
Yeah,
we just didn't know. We were ignorant, right? But when we were growing up, it was kind of instilled in us that that cops do this because they love they love where they want to protect people. They want to be heroes. They want to rush in headlong, right? The same reason people fight fires, right? Everybody loves firefighters, right? Because firefighters literally rush into hell to save people.
Yep.
And the problem is cops nowadays, like, they don't have that mentality, right? Like they see all these cop shows on TV of cops being like badasses, right? Like I watched The Rookie, right? It's about like Nathan Fillion's character being like in his late 40s, only now becoming a cop. And he's, it's a hard job, but he's like into it and like, it's propaganda. And it's like, holy shit, fuck yeah, I could do that, right? And then these cops, they get into it and it's like, oh, this ain't like TV.
No, this is like, we run this city. Like It's a whole different
man.
show. Yeah, exactly. Look,
So I think we need a better class of cop, and I've been saying that for a long time. I think cops need to be. I think. Look, you can't just have a high school diploma and be.
I think that's a huge part of it.
You cannot. You can't be. You got to have something more than a high school diploma. I'm not saying you got to have a bachelor's degree in criminal psychology to be a beat cop.
It'd be nice.
It would be wonderful if you did. I'm not saying that, but you got to have some sort of higher education. You got to have some sort of associates. You got to have something. You can't just. It's got to be like. It's not. This isn't sports, yo. You can't just go straight into the draft right out of high school. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, they do.
Like, and even sports, like they want you to have at least 1 year of college, and that's just to play a game, yo. Like,
or if they're gonna draft you out of high school, you got to be the best.
You got to be phenomenal.
You got to be Kobe,
America.
Right? You got to be Kobe Bryant. Like you got to be LeBron. Right. Like you can't just be some nigga from the streets. Like it just don't work like that. So yeah, I agree with you. Right? Just just having a high school diploma, I don't think is enough. And look, I think your point about like. as colorfully as it was stated, like, yes, the military, their whole job is to beat the bitch out of you. Like, it's true, yo. They destroy you as an individual to build you back up as a team.
Break you down and build you back up.
Right.
That's why I love it so much.
Right. And, like, you can respect that, right? Like, whatever you think about the military and the U.S. military and what they do overseas, plenty of issues that you can bring up.
There's some crummy fucking people in the military also. Like
of
course.
There's
some fucking shady ass shit that goes on in the military. I'm not saying that it's not, but I tend to have a little more reverence for military personnel than I do just regular
cops.
Beat cops.
Right. And look, maybe there should be like cop school, right? Like you got to go and not like run by cops, like run by like criminal justice professors, right? Nah, you can't leave it to John Barenthal's character on We Run the City to be like, go teach these other cops how to be cops. Like, nah, nigga, don't do that. This dude is corrupt as shit, right? You can't do that.
Right.
But I do think there is a fundamental view in how cops see issues, right? And yeah, look, the lieutenant in Texas was like, I mean, he was honest. He was like, yo, we could have gotten shot if we went in there. Like, I thought that was your whole thing, right? Blue lives matter because we got a dangerous job. Okay, we acknowledge that. Go on in. Like, I didn't sign up for that. You signed up for that.
Like, that's the thing, right? Like, that's the thing. Like, cops demand respect. They demand respect, right? Like, they pull you over and they demand respect. Yo, I got no problem respecting you. But you gotta earn that shit, man. And when this was your opportunity to fucking earn it.
Right.
To be a fucking hero. Right. To do something that I could not do. Right.
Right. Like, that's why we pay you.
Right. That's why you chose to do it. That's why we pay you.
Right. And I do think that shows at the fundamental level that the people on that squad or the people who ran it, right? Because you don't know that the cops there might have been like, let's fucking go. And their sergeant might have been like, hey, let's not do it, right? Like, we have no idea. Like, we honestly don't know. Right. And to be fair to them, right? They're human beings, to be fair to them. But the larger point here is you don't take that job without understanding those risks. And if you are weirdly, it's so bizarre to me, most cops are incredibly conservative, right? Most cops are incredibly conservative. Oh, we got to make sure people can, have all these conservative things like, Second Amendment with no fucking stipulations. You're putting your lives at risk, let alone the regular citizenry, right? You're putting your lives at risk. I've never understood that. Like, how are cops not up in arms, be like, can we get AR-15s off the street? Like, I don't understand how they're not up in arms. It feels very weird to me. But
like, because once the playing field is kind of level, right? Like,
you in a world of trouble.
And I say level, like, I know cops don't carry AR-15s. But like, it's a bunch of them versus one person with an AR-15. So I feel like it kind of balances out. Right?
Yeah, it kind of definitely does. Like, they don't get a lot of long guns and shit. Like, this is not a thing they do.
Yeah, I feel like that kind of balances out, but I don't want cops to die. I don't. I really don't
either.
Though. I really don't. Like,
and they don't often, by the way. Cops don't often die, incidentally. They don't.
Right. And look, I'm glad.
Yeah.
But like,
I don't want to live in a fucking
time,
OCP future. What the fuck?
Right. But at the same time, like, I just don't understand. You got to take this on the chin, man. You gotta eat this one.
You have to.
I mean, I don't know what else to say. Like, there's nothing I can say that can like comfort you or whatever. Like, you got to eat this one.
Comfort cops? Fuck them.
It's a bad. You know what I'm saying? Like it's a bad look, yo. It's a bad look.
Yeah, you earned it.
You can't be like, respect cops and thin blue line and we got to stick together. Nah, yo, you gotta actually like put up or shut up, man.
Yeah, and look, I understand that those cops in Uvalde who didn't go in are not the same as other cops. I'm sure if it was my town, I would have done it. But that's not the point. The point is, in the moment that you are supposed to do the thing that you say is why we should absolutely respect you, is because we do the things that other people can't do. You didn't do it. You didn't do it. Like, you didn't try and fail. That's different, right? Like, I saw people making the argument of like, what about a good cop with a gun in Buffalo, where that guy did like approach that guy and try to stop him, and he was killed. That's different, right? That guy was a security guard, by the way, not a fucking cop, right?
He was a former cop.
Right. I know, but his job is not like as an active police officer, right? So, like, I'm not here to make arguments against that guy, because that guy actually did what he was supposed to do. He was trying to protect those people, and he died in the line of duty. And I'm glad those cops didn't die in the line of duty necessarily in Uvalde. I'm not like, yeah, we should sacrifice them for kids. That seems fucked up. Like, that's not my argument. I think that's a silly argument. But you were supposed to try. Again, trying and failing is one thing. Not to try is a different thing. To hold the parents back to watch that shit happen is fucking horrendous.
I mean,
so no, but I'm just saying, in the like sort of the dichotomy of holding the parents back while you do nothing. While you do nothing is fucking gross, right? And to me, I am not a person, like, I am a person of deep-seated nuance. So I don't believe in silly arguments about how defund the police. We don't need any police, right? Or not even defund the police, but like disbanding the police, abolish the police. What? I think that's the dumbest fucking thing I've ever heard, right? We don't need cops. I'm like, nigga, in America, have you watched the news? Right? Like, I hear people say shit like that. I'm like, you're not an adult. I don't need to talk to you. You say shit like that, you're not an adult, and you need to be thoroughly ignored by the vast majority of society because you make bullshit arguments. So I'm not here to make arguments like that.
I heard Mark Lamont Hill say that, like he's like an abolitionist, and I'm like, and they were like, well, so what do you do about law enforcement? Well, we'll just have our own community police each other. Yo, it's the same thing, yo. You're just giving the
They're
power
not
to
robots from fucking Mars, nigga.
Yo, you're just
They're
giving
from
the power to your neighbor, yo. Like,
no. And I like my neighbors. They're cool, but no, fuck them.
Yo, you're just giving your power to your neighbor, yo.
Yo, their argument is so stupid, they just don't even have an answer. They don't have an answer. With the racial issues that are going on in this country, you will get rid of all cops and just let white people go wild? I'm black. Fuck that. No, yo. Get the fuck out of here. That's insane. That doesn't mean cops can protect you from everything, but yo, just lawless, wild. Y'all niggas watch way too many Westerns, yo. Like, this is not how, that shit is not going to go the way you think. That's ridiculous. So I'm not here to make arguments about abolishing police. But what I would say is, when you do things like this, and then you overreact when black people have drugs or, you know, some like crazy over policing in neighborhoods and things like that, of minorities, you make their argument for them. that why do we need you? Because the parents of those 19 kids and the family members of those two teachers could certainly make an argument that the 40% of their taxpayer dollars that went to cops in that town are fucking useless. Could that 40% of their town's taxes been used for mental health to maybe go after and help that kid who did the shooting? I think you could make a pretty good argument about it. Right? So the question is that disparity between your reaction to things that are not nearly as big of a deal, versus something that is a super big deal that is not happening to the people that you deem it shouldn't be happening to, like, is fucking weird, man. It's fucking weird. And look, I get it. You don't want to get shot with an AR-15? Neither do I. That's why I'm not a fucking cop. But you signed on to that shit. And I don't want you to get fucking hurt. But I do want you to do your job to save 19 children and 2 teachers. That's your job. And it's a hard fucking job. And if you want us to respect you like you say, like Micah said, respect is earned. It's not just given fucking outright. There is and look, I've said it on the show before. It's not my joke, but it's a joke, but it's actually also a serious and valid point. Nobody has a song called "Fuck the Firefighters," yo. They have a song called "Fuck the Police" for a reason. They do. This is a pretty good reason why that song exists. There are 19 kids trapped in a fucking building that's on fire. Guess what? Firefighters ain't going to just stand outside and let the shit burn. They're just not going to do that. And that's the difference. So I don't know how you fix that. I think your point about having a better caliber cop is a big point. But I think, like, gun control, yo. Gun control. Yeah, if y'all niggas are scared of getting shot with an AR-15, get the shit off the streets.
Maybe we should make it a little bit. Maybe we should make it just a little bit difficult for an 18-year-old to buy an AR-15, to buy an Armalite 15, whatever the fuck it's called. Maybe. Yo, he's 18, yo. He's 18.
He bought 2. He bought 2. He bought 2. In a week, he bought 2.
Like, come on, yo.
What is your fucking argument that that's okay? Like, yo, what the fuck? Dude, a guy tweeted at me today and was like, yeah, private sales of guns is great because you don't have any background checks. I was like, you're a fucking moron. Mute. I don't want to hear anything else from you ever again, yo. Like, you guys don't even want to deal with the problem. So what's the problem? What caused the people to get shot at the funeral that are there to mourn the person that got shot before? Do we have a funeral problem? It's a gun problem, dude. We have more guns in this country, damn near more guns in this country than we have human beings. It's like 315 million guns.
Can you imagine? And look, this is from somebody that I like guns, man.
Yeah, so do I. What the fuck? They're awesome. They're
like,
great.
I mean, they kind of are, yo.
Yo, it's a lot of fun. I get it.
At the same time, like an 18-year-old shouldn't be able to go up to the counter at Walmart and say, hey, can I get that AR-15 and a pack of smokes? And then the guy's like, whoa. How old are you? You can't have these smokes, young man. Like,
right.
Like, that's a problem, yo. Like,
right.
That's a problem.
Right.
I don't know. What the fuck do I know?
Look, all that, like, there's a Second Amendment, it can't be infringed. It's called an amendment. It's called an amendment. Yeah, it can. Like, I have my thoughts on what could happen to change this country as far as gun rights. I won't go into that here because it's very political. But the reality is, your Second Amendment is not sacrosanct. It's not. It's an amendment. So, nah. Like, and look, I'm not even advocating for people not to have guns. I'm just saying, how about we not make it easy? How is it harder to have, like, it's super easy for you to go get a gun to kill 19 people, but meanwhile, one party is trying to make it impossible for you to take a pill so that you don't have birth to a child that you don't want after being raped. How is one of those way fucking easier than the other? Okay, how does that make sense to anybody with a logical functioning brain? I'm just saying, that shit doesn't make sense to me at all. And guess what? It shouldn't make sense to you either. It's fucking nuts. So I don't know what needs to happen in our Demolition Man like future that's coming up. But like, does 100 people need to be gunned down? Like, what happens when there's like fucking Demolition Man, fucking Simon Phoenix laser guns? We just let niggas have those too? What the fuck?
Look,
what's the deal? What's the line?
When Sandy Hook happened, I knew, and nothing happened after Sandy Hook.
We were fucked.
Yeah, nothing's gonna happen.
We're fucked. We're fucked.
Nothing's gonna happen because
if they don't give a fuck about 20 white babies, we're fucked.
Yeah, man. And I don't foresee guns ever like no one's going to abolish guns. Like, you can get the most liberal.
No, that's never gonna
person
happen.
In here. It's never gonna happen, yo. It could be the love child of Nina Turner and Bernie Sanders, right? And you're not getting rid. That's what I was looking for. You're not getting rid of guns, yo. So I figure I figure the only thing we can at least try to do is just do some like, yo, you got to take a test to drive a car. And I know you could drive. I know you could kill somebody with a car, but like, that's not the car's primary function.
Right. The primary function of a gun is to murder someone, yo. It is.
The primary function of a car is not to murder someone. And two, that's why you take a test, to make sure that you know that the primary function of a car is not to kill someone. So
right.
Can we just maybe take a test? Maybe.
How about, like, I saw someone's perspective. They were like, how about, like, you got to get 3 permits, right? You got to go through a psychiatric evaluation, which I thought was really good. They go through your teachers, your parents, your friends. They got to go through everybody. And if you fail any of it, you don't get a gun. Guess what? That kid who did that shooting in Uvalde, he wouldn't have passed that shit. He wouldn't have passed that shit through his teachers, yo. No, he wouldn't. His friends are like, this nigga wore, not even him. I'm sorry, the kid in Buffalo. That kid wore a full radiation suit to school after COVID. They were like, he's a bit weird. Boom, red flag. You don't get a gun. Get the fuck out of here. No, sorry. Yeah. Sorry. Oh, you saying disparaging, crazy shit? You're going to shoot up a school fucking 6 months ago, a year ago? Guess what? You don't get a gun. If you talk about, like, the Second Amendment, some lady on Twitter literally was like, the Second Amendment mentions militias, but that's not, or mentions regulated, but that's not what that word meant in context. I was like, what the fuck does regulated mean to you? Also, I was like, it's weird that you left out the word militia. Like, you can't just leave words out and take context out and be like, no, but that's what it meant. No, I didn't mean that. It didn't mean that. Look at the fucking Heller trial. You can read what they said. Like, people do know, like, people didn't see the Second Amendment as, like, everybody just owns a gun until, like, pretty recently in history. This was not an all the time shit. No, it wasn't. The NRA used to be a gun safety organization. Not anymore. Not anymore. So it's like, times change, man, and people are bullshit, right? Like, don't let people convince you that, oh, the founding fathers were totally cool with that. No, the fuck they weren't. And people didn't read the Second Amendment like that either. They read it with all the words. All the words. You can't regulate you can't do gun control. Why? It says regulated militia in the fucking Second Amendment. It says it. It says it right there. None of you niggas are in a militia. It's certainly not regulated by the state or the federal government.
Not even just regulated. Well regulated.
Well regulated.
Like, to emphasize it.
Right. Like, you can't just be like, nah, y'all good. Like, no, nigga.
Right. Regulation could be like, well, you can only own 8 guns. What the fuck?
That's not well regulated. Right. Come on, yo. Look, I think if ever given the opportunity, like, look, you don't have to ban guns. You just have to make it difficult. Just like they do abortion. Just make it hard. If it's hard to own a gun, guess what? People don't do it. It's like crime. If a crime don't take 5 minutes, most crimes don't happen. Most crimes are crimes of convenience. They are. And right now, it's super convenient to own an AR-15. It's really convenient. Couple $100 or $1,000, ready to go. That's it.
Yeah.
Get the fuck out of here. So, yeah. So cops, how about I don't know, man, do your job. Do your job. Look, I know cops aren't going to respond to our to our episode. I would love if they did. I'd love to actually have a conversation with a cop. Don't you have a problem with all of this type of weaponry on the street? It's weird to me that I would think cops would be like, absolutely, we need to get this shit off the street.
No, they wouldn't say they wouldn't say we need to get this off the street. They would say we need some ourselves to level the playing field. That's what they would say.
Yeah, I don't need that. I look at this point, I don't know what else you're gonna do, right? You might as well give these motherfuckers some shit. But I don't need them to have military weaponry, because if they have it, then the criminals just go what's one step above it, right? It's an arms race. But we don't have we barely have lines as to what is stopping people. What's the top shit that you can get, right? I mean, you talk to Second Amendment people, they're like, why can't I have a tank? Why can't I have a nuke? That's how fucking dumb they are. They say anything. Who gives a fuck? How ludicrous they're fucking, the two bearing balls that are smashing around their empty fucking heads. Why can't I have a bazooka? I don't know, Jim Bob. Why not? Right? You live in a fucking society. That's why. George Costanza was right. All right. We'll be back next week for episode 224 for Emergency. Again, watch that on Amazon, and we will see you guys next time.
See you.
Bye. You're watching the Black on Black Cinema YouTube channel. Make sure you check out our full reviews of black movies, past and present. And every other week, we do a preview episode where we talk about a random topic that affects the black community.